Hey guys, so today I am here with a huge haul for you. You might notice I'm in a weird spot. I'm actually just in my kitchen, like hanging out with this random animal on the wall. But my pet room is kind of a mess right now because I've been redoing some stuff, so I'm not gonna film in there like normal. And everything I want to show you guys in my haul is actually still in the kitchen because that's where I dropped everything when I got home with it. So I thought it would just be easiest to film it in here for you guys. I'm really excited for today's haul because as you can see by the title, it is everything that I bought for a bioactive enclosure. My gargoyle gecko Pickle has actually went through a big growth spurt lately. He's been in a 12 by 12 by 18 since I got him because he was pretty small. But after this recent growth spurt, I definitely think he's ready to move up to his adult enclosure. And a lot of my friends have been doing bioactive enclosures for their animals lately. And I've tried one in the past. I did a bioactive for my day gecko Charlie, but you guys actually never saw him here on my channel. So that's my only experience with bioactive. That one didn't go over too well because it was my first one. All the plants lived and everything, but I did an awful job with the background. So I really wanted to try to redeem myself and give Pickle a bioactive. So today I went out and bought everything I need to build the enclosure. I don't know if I'm going to film me building the enclosure yet just because I'm so new to it. I really want to focus on building it and not trying to film and do angles and everything. So I probably won't film the actual build, but once it's done, of course, I'll do a video updating you guys. But today I'm just going to be showing you everything I got for Pickle's new bioactive. So everything I have in today's haul came from 3 stores. All the reptile stuff I actually got from my local stores. I like supporting local stores when I can. So I went to 2 different local stores today and picked up stuff. And then the last store is actually Home Depot. That's where I got my plants and everything. So as I'm showing everything, I'll let you guys know where everything came from. So the first thing I want to show you, I can't lift up and show you, but it came from a local pet shop called the Lenexa pet shop. It is one that I like to support because they take pretty good care of their animals and have a nice supplies. But the first thing I got is his actual enclosure. He's going to be going into an 18 by 18 by 24. I did have an extra one lying around, but it is the one I used for Charlie, and I wasn't able to get the old background off. So I just went out and I bought a new one. I'm going to give the old one to my dad and he's going to take it home and clean it up for me, so I will have an extra at some point. But just to make things simpler on me for now, I went ahead and bought a new one. I was planning on attempting to make a custom background for this one too. Some of the things you'll be seeing in this haul later I bought specifically for a custom background. But after getting this enclosure, it has a background I've never seen before and I'm really afraid to mess up another one. So I actually might leave this background in the enclosure and then just put a couple like plants on the side. I'm not exactly sure how I'm doing that yet, so you might see this background in the final cage, you might not. We'll see how everything goes, but that is his new 18 by 18 by 24. That is actually the only thing I got at the Lenexa pet shop. Now I'll move on to the rest of the reptile stuff, which I got at Pet World. Pet World is another local store. It's not too local. It's in Lawrence, Kansas. So if you're in like the Kansas City area and you never go to Lawrence, I definitely recommend taking a little drive and checking it out because it is my favorite pet store out of all of them, and that is where I got most of the stuff. So let's go through everything I got at Pet World. So the first items are one of the most important parts for actually making this a bioactive setup. This is my cleanup crew. So I went ahead and got a springtail culture, which they're very tiny so you won't be able to see them. They're just itty bitty little white bugs crawling around. And then I got some isopods. They had a few different kinds. I know they had orange ones, dwarf white, and zebra isopods. I went ahead and got the zebras just because they are really cute. I know that doesn't matter at all, but I needed some isopods. They were cute and I got them. So I got a thing of isopods and a thing of springtails. So now that I showed you the cleanup crew, I'll just kind of start from the bottom of the enclosure and work my way up. The next thing I got is 2 bags of these hydro balls. These are from Zoomed. Basically all they are some clay balls. You can get them at hardware stores for a lot cheaper, but that usually comes in like a really large bag. And since this is the only bioactive I have plans on setting up anytime soon, I didn't feel the need to just go buy a ton of them just so it was cheap. So I just got 2 bags of these. So this will just be my drainage layer at the bottom of my enclosure. And I used 2 bags in my old bioactive and it gave me a nice layer. So that is what I got. After the drainage layer, I needed some type of mesh that way the substrate stays up and doesn't fall down into the drainage layer. So I just picked up this bio drain from Exoterra. I just actually realized that this is 18 by 24 and not 18 by 18 like I thought it was, but that's fine. I'll just be able to cut it down to size. Once again, you can get something like this cheaper at like a hardware store. You can just get mesh like for a window, but I do value convenience a lot over price, and I didn't want to cut it down even though I'll just have to snip a little bit off of this or fold it over, but I just didn't want a big roll of screen for no reason. So I picked up this, and this will go on top of the drainage layer. After the drainage layer, it's time for the actual substrate. I picked up 2 different different substrates that I'm going to mix together. So the first one I got the big bag. I got the Reptisoil. This is once again by Zoomed. This is just a blend of peat moss, soil, sand, and carbon. So this is going to be my main substrate. I know a lot of people use this for bioactives. I haven't used this before. Last time I actually ordered some special substrate online, but I wanted to go ahead and get everything at local stores this time, so I picked up some Reptisoil. And then just to add a little bit more to that, I went ahead and picked up the Jungle Mix by Zilla. This is for Sphagnum peat moss, so I thought I would just add a little bit of this in just to mix it up a little bit. I just got a small bag of this. I got a 4-quart bag of this and a 10-quart bag of the Reptisoil, so I should have plenty of substrate. Next, I just have a couple cork flats. These are just large pieces that I actually planned on using for the background, but now I don't know if I'm making a custom background or not, so I'm not sure if I'll be using these for the background. I might not even be using them in this build. I might keep them for something else, but these are just a couple pieces of cork, once again by Zoomed. They're pretty large pieces. I do have plans on putting some other cork or wood items in the enclosure that you're not going to see in this haul, just because it's stuff I already had lying around, but I might work these into the enclosure somehow, even if I decide not to make the custom background, so we will see. Also, something I bought for when I make the custom background is just a bag of Eco Earth. This is what I like to use to cover the foam and silicone, so I think I'll be using some of this because even if I don't make a full custom background, I do want to add a pot or two to the back or to like the side of the enclosure for plants. So I'm sure I'll be using some of this, but even if I don't use it all, I have other animals like my Pac-Man frog Fiona can always use Eco Earth, so I got a bag of that. And this is just an 8-quart bag by Zoomed. And the last thing I picked up at the local store is just these 2 pieces of rock. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be using these yet, but I just thought they looked really cool. I have no idea what type of rock they are. They just sell a ton of different rocks there and they're all just bulk, so I don't think it lists them or anything, but I thought these would be cool for some hardscaping down on the bottom. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm using these for, but hopefully I'll be able to incorporate them in some way just to give the cage some more textures in different colors. So there's my rocks. So that is everything I got from the local store. The last place I went was Home Depot. This is where I got stuff to make the custom background if I decide to do it, and I also got all my plants there. I do just want to mention that before I use any of these plants, I will be removing all of the soil from the roots that they came with and replacing it with the stuff I bought. None of the soil that the plants came with is going to be going into the enclosure at all, just because you don't know what's in there, if there's any fertilizers or anything. And I am also going to be soaking these plants like in distilled water just to make sure they are completely clean before I put them in the enclosure. So I know some people worry about buying plants that aren't specifically made for reptiles, but I've talked to a lot of my friends and that is what they do. So let me show you the plants I got. I might have went a little bit crazy. I bought 6 plants. I don't know if I'll end up using them all since I'm only building an 18 by 18 by 24, but I do want it to be pretty fully covered just so Pickle feels safe and he can have plenty of places to hide. So this is the first plant I got. I actually don't know exactly what it's called because this just calls it a house plant, but I do know it's safe because this is a very common plant that a lot of people use in their bioactives. I thought this would be a good one to start out with because it does give some height already, and a lot of the other ones I bought are a little bit shorter. So this is the first plant. Here's the next one I got. Once again, it just says it's a house plant. I'll put the name on the screen because I know what these are called. I just don't know how you pronounce it because I've never actually heard anyone say it. So I know these are safe for reptiles. They're not safe for dogs, so I have been keeping it up. That way I know Steve doesn't try to eat it. Just Steve, because Steve will eat literally anything. Ellie knows better, but Steve would try to munch it if it was on the floor, so I got one of these. And then I also picked up a pothos. I'm not too great at keeping plants alive. I don't have much experience with it, but I know that it's basically impossible to kill pothos. A lot of people suggest them for first-time plant owners or your first bioactive, so I picked up one of these. I thought it would be cool to hang this up on the background and then let it drape down, so I might be doing that, but I got a pothos. The next one is one of the bigger ones. This is just a spider plant. Once again, I know this is really highly recommended because they are pretty hardy, so hopefully I won't be able to kill it. And it is a pretty decent size. It's not extremely tall, but it's already pretty big, so at least I'm starting out with some nice lush greenery. And then the last two are a little bit smaller, and I think these might make some nice ground cover. Once again, I don't know a ton about plants, so I'll definitely be doing a lot more research before I put them in because I don't plan on actually planting it for a little while. But this one is a peperomia. I'm sure I said that wrong, but it is really cute. I like that it's a lighter green. I really wanted to add some different colors to the enclosure, and then this one is just listed as a red cloud. So I don't really know what that is. I'll definitely be looking it up beforehand, but it's really cute. It's like a purplish, like a dark purple color with some green on the leaves. So I thought this would be a nice ground cover, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you have experience with plants and if you really like or don't like any of the ones I showed, let me know down in the comments, because any of your suggestions are definitely very welcome, because I am completely new to plants. So that's all the exciting stuff I picked up at Home Depot. Other than that, I just got 2 cans of the great stuff and 2 things of 100% pure silicone. This is when I thought I was making a full custom background, so I got 2 of both. But like I've said 1,000 times already in this video, I'm not sure if I'm doing that yet, but I'll definitely need some of this. So I'm glad I have it on hand, even if I don't end up needing all of it. I did just get the regular stuff this time, so I know it's not the black. I got the black stuff last time, that way in case I missed part of it, it just like blended in better, but I couldn't find it, so I just got the regular stuff. I've seen a lot of people use this before, so I know it works well. If it doesn't work well, it's just going to be a user error like last time. But this is the stuff I got for my custom background. So that is everything I got from my new Bioactive enclosure. Hopefully this video is not too long. I did get a lot, so hopefully I didn't ramble too much. But I'm really excited to set this up and move Pickle into a Bioactive. I think Bioactives have a lot of great benefits for your animals. I didn't show it in this video, but lighting is also important. I actually have 2 Jungle Dawn LEDs that I was actually using for Charlie's enclosure, and they're mounted in an Exoterra hood. That is what I'll be using for this. Luckily, I already just had those on hand, so I didn't have to go out and buy them, because those bulbs were not cheap and I didn't use them very long. Like I said, I'm probably not going to be showing the actual build, just because I really want to focus on the enclosure since I am so new to it. But once I get everything set up and I actually move Pickle into it, I would definitely be doing an update video showing you guys how it went and how he's liking it. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.